Hi everyone and welcome back to CraftyGirlzSA. Today I am creating what I think is a perfect teacher's gift for Christmas. It's a cloud-shaped resin tray. I put in some metallic leaves and a book stack UV DTF sticker. And even though it is spring here in the south, I love these warm tones and I think they blend in so nicely with the colors on the book stack sticker. So it is elegant, it's handmade, and I think it is a beautiful gift idea. So I had already mixed up my epoxy resin. It is a 24-hour pour, so it's not a fast curing resin. So obviously I would have to do each layer and let it cure overnight. I normally do leave it for the 24 hours. But it isn't usually dry by the next morning if you do it in the afternoon. So here I got a packet of some, they're actually almost chameleon-like. They look yellow and orange, and when you move them around, they do change color. They do have little holes in them, so you can use them for other crafts if you want to thread things through it, but I thought they would look quite pretty in the rim of the actual tray. So here I am just putting in as many as I could because I wanted it to be quite full, and so it did take quite a lot of them, but I really do think that they're pretty. And like I said in the intro, we are in the south, so it's actually spring here. It's not autumn or fall as the Americans call it. We are in spring, so they're not really spring colors, but I thought that they would go nicely with the UV DTF sticker that I have that has got a stack of books on it. And like I said, I thought it would be a nice teacher's gift for Christmas. Our children go on school holidays at the beginning of December, so I thought that if I do a couple of items for teacher gifts, that normally they would be ready by the end of November, so it would be ideal for teacher Christmas gifts. But the colors are so pretty. It really gives a vibrant color to the edge of the tray. Here I'm just filling up a little bit more so that it gets to the rim of the actual tray. These, like I said, are from a local craft store, and they only had that color. So even though I do love the color, I would like to have got some other colors so I can use them like a green or blue. So hopefully they'll get some other stock in, but for now this was the color that they had. So that one's giving me a bit of a hard time. It didn't want to go in the tray. So yeah, so hopefully they'll get some other colors because I really do think that these give such a lovely effect to the edges of the tray. And here I'm just squishing them down so that I can get in as many as will go into the resin without sticking out the top too much. I'll just speed this up a little bit because it'll get a bit monotonous just watching me dropping in leaves into the UV resin. Oh, it's not UV resin. What am I talking about? UV resin. It's epoxy resin. And already it's starting to give such a pretty effect. Just giving it a bit of a wiggle just to make sure that there are no air bubbles trapped underneath. And here I just put a little splash of marker powder. It's a gold marker powder. Just a couple of splashes just to, because I do want it to be transparent. I want it to look like it's glass and so that you can see through it. But I also just wanted a little bit of an effect. So I used a gold marker and then a rose gold marker just so that they matched the colors of the leaves. And then just gave it a bit of a spray with the alcohol, just so that it wet the mica powder a little bit so that it wasn't dry when I poured the next part of the resin on. Right, so here I am just putting on the top layer. It is transparent, like I said, and they will cure together. So I didn't have to wait for the bottom layer to cure or anything, because I wasn't putting in any color or glitter or anything like that. So it was all transparent. I could do it all in one go and let it cure together. I like to make sure that I get it just to the top of the lip. I don't like to have any overpour, because I have mentioned before, in any of my crafts, I hate sanding anything or cleaning anything off. So I try and get it as clean as possible. Obviously with resin, you are always going to have that edge that you're going to have to clean off with your deburring tool or craft knife, whatever you prefer to use. But I don't like any major cleaning up, so I like to just get it to the top of the lip. Here I'm just blending in the mica powder that I flicked on and sprayed with the alcohol, just to give it a bit of a design so that it doesn't look so splodgy, if that's a word. I like the word splodgy. Yeah, just to blend in the chunks underneath, just to give it a bit of a design. Right, so now I don't have a vacuum chamber, I don't have a bubble remover, so I just have to use my heat gun. So just give it a blow with a heat gun in case there were any bubbles. I didn't see any bubbles. This resin, even though it is really expensive, it was quite a good resin. It actually didn't have very many bubbles if I left it for a few minutes just to, I don't know what you would call it, get its own bubbles out, self-debubble. Yeah, so there was, I couldn't see any bubbles. So it was time to demold. Now, I just wanted to show you that that was the base that I made on my 3D printer, because this mold tends to go down in the center. So with the weight of the resin, it pushes down. So I made a base for it just to support it a bit. And now it is ready to unmold. I did have a bit of a sneak preview because it was quite transparent, so I could sneak the top of it, and there we go. Those leaves look so pretty, and I'm glad I left it transparent because it just gives it a glass-like finish. I think it gives it a glass-like finish, and look how pretty those leaves are. Like I said, they do have holes in them, but I don't think that that makes much of a difference. They just really, really look so pretty, and it is so nice and see-through. That's exactly what I was looking for. I wanted it to be see-through, and that is what I got. So now it was just time for me to decorate it with its UV DTF sticker. So the UV DTF stickers I got in a pack. I think there was 6 or 8 in the pack. They were from Temu, and I got them especially for teacher gifts. I thought that would be quite sweet for teacher gifts and any book lovers. My daughter's a big book lover. She loves her books. Yes, I think there was 8 of them. So I thought this would be a really nice gift for a teacher for Christmas. I just had to choose which ones I thought went nicely with it. Some of them are a bit smaller than the others, so I thought that one would fit because it's almost top to bottom of where the lip of the tray started. So that was the one I chose. It's got quite pretty flowers with its leaves, also green with the orange and the yellow, all the different colors. So like normal, your resin is really, really shiny. So all you have to do is make sure that you have a clean surface before you put the sticker on. And I'm sure most of you have, that is just my tweezers. I always have a ribbon tied to them because I have gone through I don't know how many, and now I can't find any like this. So I cannot lose it. They are my most favorite tweezers in the whole wide world. So like I was saying, the UV DTF stickers have 3 parts. You have top, back, and the actual sticker itself. So you peel the back off, and I always go top to bottom or bottom to top. If you've watched any of my other videos, that is what I always do. And you have less chance of getting air bubbles if you do that. If you put the sticker down all at once, you have more chance of getting air bubbles than if you work it slowly, dropping the sticker as you squish it with your as you can see, I use my old bank card. I find they work really well. And I think that sticker looks really, really perfect with the colors of the outside border with the leaves. Now here, unfortunately, I forgot to press record. And I had already poured some of the top coat. What I had also done was I had put a bit of glitter on either side of the book sticker and run out of the resin I was using. So I had a little bit of old resin in my cupboard, and it was old resin that probably was made about, I don't know, when the turn of the century, and it had already started going yellow. The one part of it, because obviously it's a 2-part. So as you can see, it looks a little bit yellow, but once I put it onto the actual tray, it didn't seem to make a difference because, like I said, I had bought that other resin from a craft shop and it was really expensive. So I have found a new supplier, and my new videos will be with that amazing resin. But this one, I just had to use this old resin as a top coat. But I don't think it made much of a difference. To me, it's still really see-through, and to be quite honest, I don't think it's going to do much. It's only a tiny little top coat, and it looks fine to me. So here I'm just using my deburring tool to take off the sharp edge. I will fast forward this because I'm sure you don't want to watch me going all the way around with my deburring tool. And I am going to be using, or I did use, the little see-through feet, because if I had used the little felt type feet, they're almost like a compressed foam and they've got felt on the bottom. You would be able to see them, and obviously I didn't want anyone to be able to see the feet. So I thought I would use, as you can see there, if you put that on and you look from the inside, you can actually see the foot. So I was putting them on just to see whether they would be visible, because they are really nice feet, but you can see them through the top. So I was just seeing whether there was any sections that I could put them on, but you can see them through the side. So I changed my mind. I took them off and I put on the little see-through feet because they were not visible from the top of the actual tray. So I did use more than obviously what you would normally use because they are smaller, but also because it's a cloud shape, I made sure that I had them sort of on every curve of the actual tray. And there we go. You can't see the feet. They are see-through, and so is the tray. So I was really happy with how it turned out. I thought it was exactly what I was looking for in the beginning. And even with that little hiccup with running out of resin and having to use an ancient bottle, I think it came out really well. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this DIY resin tray, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone that's looking for handmade gift inspirations this Christmas for the teachers. I've got more resin art and creative ideas coming soon, and a lot of them are Christmas ones. So again, guys, until next time, have a great one.